Hey family, my name is Luke and I'm here with Eric Freedom.
What's up?
I'm the head coach here at Reason Fitness. Eric is the founder of our gym and together we have 25 plus years of experience in coaching fitness, nutrition, and wellness. And our mission here is to help develop happier, healthier people in the San Gabriel Valley and greater LA area. And today we're talking about the 5 factors of health.
There you go.
We're starting a new series called 10 Minute Tuesdays. This is our second 10 Minute Tuesday where we talk about one of the 5 pillars of health. And today we're talking about sleep. What's up, Eric?
What's up, dude?
So today we're talking about sleep. Let's start with this. Let's talk about just like maybe some baseline things. We'll keep it very general, but
right.
Why is sleep important? Like just in general, like why is sleep important? What are some benefits of sleep?
Well, first of all, what is sleep? Just kidding. Shit, dude. I mean,
As a parent of 3.
A very non-science answer to why sleep is important is, sleep is like, it always makes me think of this movie. You seen that movie with Angelina Jolie and that kind of pale looking dude that was a villain in some other Wanted, where like they could shoot bullets and
And
they could like
curves.
what do you call it, hook the bullet, right?
Yeah.
And do you remember, I love this illustration that they use in the movie, but sleep is like this. It's like, it reminds me of when they go in that pool and it like turns into wax or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And they they freaking come out and they just like healed of every single ailment that they have.
Yeah.
That's what sleep is. Sleep is like the underrated natural superpower that most of us are wasting.
Totally.
Yeah.
100%.
That's what sleep is.
100%. I love that. That's a good one. So let's dive into that. So what would you say? We have here at Reason, we have a lot of people who are either a shift worker. We have a lot of parents here. A lot of parents actually of kids with like multiple kids under the age of like 4 or 5 years old. Yeah. What would you say are maybe 2 things, maybe 2 tips that you could give for parents or shift workers who want to start exercising, but then they feel too tired, or like quote unquote too tired, right?
Yeah.
Like because their experiences are valid, right? Like they are tired, right? And they probably physically feel it too. That's why it's hard, is because like they have maybe lower motivation and stuff like that. But so like tips, like what would you give first thing, or what would you say first thing to that person who feels too tired?
Man, that's tough. First of all, if you are a shift worker, you probably work some type of graveyard or you're probably in some type of medical field, or you're in law enforcement or fire. That's my guess. If you're a shift worker, I can't think of really any
Nurse.
Like
healthcare.
Yeah. I said healthcare.
Okay.
And so first of all, thanks for doing that job. So that
Yep.
yeah, thank you. But and then parents, same thing, right? Like I guess thank you for populating the earth. But so if you're a shift worker, I think you've chosen that as a career. And
have you worked with shift workers?
Yeah, I have. So I've coached quite a few. I'm actively coaching quite a few right now. And usually you don't see the shifts change until you get to like really, really high managerial levels, where you're not quote unquote on a shift. Like you're back to a regular 9 to 5, 4 days a week, maybe, or maybe you work 4 10s or something like that. Shift working is just hard. Yeah. And it's tough because nowadays, for example, if you're a nurse, I've coached quite a few nurses, but a lot of these nurses do not have full-time jobs anymore. They have like 2 full-time jobs working what's called per diem.
Oh yeah.
Which means you're contracted. You're like a contracted person. You're not on full-time hours. You have like 32 hours a week. Yeah. And 35 to 40 is like full-time or something like that. Yeah. So they don't get health benefits. So then what they do is they go and but then because they have flexibility, they go from like one job. So they might work a 10, take like a 4-hour break, and then go work another 10 somewhere else. Yeah. And right, I get it. There's this, it goes back to the last episode that we talked about on our first episode. We talked about nutrition, and the framework really starts with clarity. It's like, what do you want? And if right now making money is really, really important to you, I get how you would want to work 20 hours out of a 24-hour day. I don't think it's sustainable. Yeah. I don't want to use, I will use the name because he's part of our community and I don't think he would mind. But I've talked to Norman about this, right? And Norman's not a shift worker, but he's a physical therapist. Yeah. Great job. And I was talking to him once, and he was like, "Yeah, I work 7 days a week." And I was like, "You work 7 days a week?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, so when you take a day off?" And he's like, "I don't." and I kind of chuckled to myself because I was like, "Oh, well, I've been there." And my immediate thought was, "Well, see you in 3 weeks when you have burnout," right? It's just not sustainable, right? For so many reasons, because for social reasons, for anxiety reasons, for like I don't even like I don't think sleep is the point. I think it's the idea of getting rest and recovery. It's the 2 R's.
Yeah.
Right. It's what is going to give you rest and recovery. And when you're young, for some like my kids are a great example of this. For some reason, like when you're old, the older you get, the more you just value naps. But dude, tell a teenager to nap, or tell my children who are 6'4", 6 and 4 to nap.
Yeah.
Dude, they think it's like going to jail.
Yeah.
Like they think it's like punishment.
Yeah.
And like my son will literally come out of nap time and tell me, "Dad, my brain just doesn't want to rest." It's like,
How old's your son?
4. So Luca's just like, he's like, my brain's just not tired.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. And I think for some reason when you're younger, you just think you have that energy. But here's the thing, like, even for him, someone that does not think he wants to rest or take a nap, and he's supposed to take a nap at like 1 right after lunch. If that boy don't nap, he usually goes to bed around 8. If he don't nap around 6 p.m., his attitude is garbage.
He
has a piss poor attitude.
Yeah.
He's easily irritable. I'm like, dude, because you're tired and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
And I bring back the analogy of Norman because like what I was thinking was, you're tired and you don't even know it.
Yeah, totally.
Don't even know it.
Totally. So let's dive into that because that's really interesting. Do you feel like, so I feel like for a lot of shift workers, because they've just been doing their job for so long, I mean, obviously they're tired and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, they're also, because they've been doing it for so long, they're also conditioned to just do what they're doing, right?
Correct.
Like unless anyone else tells them whatever they're doing isn't working.
They've grown up, and if like for example, if you're in med school, you are literally going through a gauntlet that is like destructive to your health.
Totally.
And you're doing it at a time that's where you're building habits for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Right? You're doing it usually in your 20s.
Yeah.
And that's when you're kind of picking up things. You're trying to figure out who you are. You're probably the most self-conscious you ever are in your life.
Yeah.
And you are figuring, and then you have to go through this gauntlet of like torture and memorization and application on theory. And so every day is either studying or work or being in class, consuming, and it's just 24/7. And it's like, when do you sleep? Well, you don't. First of all, that is just very difficult.
Yeah.
Right. So I honestly don't have an answer to that, but I know that once you're working, I think the answer to that is going back and reevaluating your values and saying like, well, what does a lifestyle of discipline look like? There are people in our gym that are those shift workers. So for example, we have Dr. Jerry who goes to 5:30 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. very, very consistently, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
This man works like a 70-hour week.
Yeah.
On the regular.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it and still makes it to like his son's basketball games.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't get, and he still goes like he does all the things.
Yeah.
But what I do notice is that he is a man of discipline.
Totally.
And he's clear on what he wants.
Yeah.
So if he wants to get up every day and make sure that he gets his workout in at 5:30, he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's like, I'm gonna go to sleep at a certain time.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Every day.
Yeah.
It's non-negotiable. He's not going to stay up late and accidentally binge watch 4 episodes of, I don't know what's hot right now, of Yellowstone, right? He's not going to accidentally like stay up watching those things because he has a duty to himself.
Yeah. So it's almost like you're saying like treating sleep as pretty much almost any other habit that you're trying to accumulate, right? Yep. It's like being like, I'm going to stick to this because I know it's going to serve me in XYZ way later. And no matter how much I feel about not getting sleep right now, I need to do it because I know it's going to serve me later, kind of thing.
100%.
And I mean, I'll say this because I work with someone who, or I've been working with someone who, she works 3 12s every week. And sometimes she'll also pick up the per diem example that you gave me. She'll pick up random things too. And she has no regularity in her time of sleep. What would you say to someone who has no regularity in their time of sleep? Like, how do they choose whether or not they go sleep because they feel like they need rest, or they go exercise? Because they exercise regularly 3 times a week, but sometimes their exercise timing doesn't match with their sleep schedule because it's really non-expected.
That's a really good one, man. I mean, so my answer to that, and I've actually coached someone through this before. If you're working 3 12s, my first hope for you is that those schedules or those splits are like you have either them 3 days in a row, or they're like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So you have some type of rhythm with it.
Yeah.
Right. Because if you can have rhythm with it, you can build consistency on that.
Okay.
If it's changing all the time, that's just really tough. So what I would do with that approach is I would just go for total accumulation. So if there's 7 days in a week, 7 nights in a week, like how do I get on average between 50 to 56 or 50 to 60 hours of sleep?
Yeah.
Total.
Yeah.
So whether that's split up between naps, right? So think about it, you gotta give room for buffer. But how would I would split up by saying get between 50 and 60. Hopefully you're accounting for buffer time where you're falling asleep.
Yeah.
So like sleeping for 4 hours, usually you're taking about 30 minutes on each side to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Or 10 minutes on each side, right?
So you're really getting 3.
Yeah. So then account for those things and just try to get more sleep.
Yeah. Throughout the day.
Yeah. It's like the same thing as like nutrition, right? It's like if you're trying to eat more vegetables, well, when's the best time? No, it's whenever you do
can.
it. Whenever you can, just try to sprinkle some more in. Like do what you can, man.
Love it. Cool. That's 10 Minute Tuesdays. Thanks, guys. We'll see you guys next time.
Get some sleep.